Morning. Today is the second day of West Virginia's turkey season, and this is my first day in West Virginia. Yesterday I got in late morning, and it was pouring rain, and I didn't have a good plan, so I ended up just driving around. So, today's the first day in West Virginia with a loaded gun. I'm stepping into kind of a sentimental place, so we'll see if we can't find a bird in here or not. It's snowing and raining a little bit, so it's cold and windy and snowing. Those are not ideal turkey conditions, but we'll make the best of it. I do not believe my luck. I got up here where I wanted to be. Just owl hooted and a bird gobbled. Freaking awesome. Now let's come up with a game plan. This whole hillside is covered in scratching. I haven't gotten that bird to gobble again yet. I've been just moving real slow. Taking my time. There's not too much of a place for him to go. So he's got to be in here somewhere. I've lost him. He gobbled one more time to me. I never heard him after that. I heard another guy on another ridge behind me calling. Obviously a guy, the way he called. So maybe that shut him up. Maybe he's got hens. Maybe it's the weather. Or any and all of the above. So, we're back to prospecting. And it's still windy. But, I don't know why a turkey wouldn't gobble. I guess not ideal conditions, but it's not terrible conditions either. Somebody should be gobbling. There's got to be a lonely, horny 2-year-old somewhere around in here. That's who I'm trying to find. Dang it. I was walking up this ridge here and just called back that way a little bit. Obviously nothing gobbled. Coming up with this ridge, not paying attention, and I hear something and I look up and there's a turkey with a red head. And he goes down below this crest. So I get the gun off my shoulder real quick. And I always walk around with the call in my mouth. So I started clucking, yelping at him real soft. And I ease up a little bit. And I see him again. And I had seen at least 2 redheads by this point. But I didn't see a beard. So I get up a little bit closer, set this camera down, turn on this camera. I hope I turn this, this camera's on. Get up a little bit closer, and I see another redhead. Well, it's like right there, and it turns and it's got a little sticky outy beard. And I see another redhead, and that last redhead was much bigger and redder than the other ones. But I didn't see a beard, it was facing away from me. Well, that first one, he takes flight, and then all of a sudden, the woods just erupt with turkeys. There's probably 8 or 9. And some look like hens too. So my guess is that there was a longbeard in that group. Oh man. Well, there are turkeys in here. But man, they took flight. They got up over these trees. And they went forever. I totally could have rolled one. I just wanted it to be a longbeard. But that one head, man. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, what just happened? Oh my god. Seriously, what the hell just happened? Whew, and I cannot take long on this because I am pushing it to get out of here and have that gun cased by one. Holy crap. Alright, so to kind of walk you through some recent events here. Oh my god, look at this bird. Not very thick, but really freaking long. Alright, I'm gonna walk you through what happened after I flushed these birds up on top of that hill. I watched where they went and they came down to here, as it turns out. And so I came down and I could hear the leaves are just starting to dry up a little bit. And I could hear scratch, 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 scratch in the leaves. And I misplaced where I heard that. I thought it was in front of me as I was coming up over this other little berm, a little ridge. Turns out it was to my right. And I just sensed something to my right, and I look over and I see a hen and she goes back down over the hill real quick. She'd see me. So I'm like, shit. But if this was the flock that I'd spooked, there was like 10 birds in this flock. So there's going to be more turkeys. Maybe they didn't run that far. So I kind of backed down off the berm a little bit, went down, came back up over the same ridge, but down a couple 100 yards. And again, as I'm coming up and over, I hear just a lot of, I could barely hear it, but just enough audible leave noise. I'm like, alright, so they gotta be like right here. So I just sit down. I was gonna come up and over this rise, but I'm like, man, that hasn't been working for me. So we try something different. So I sit down, key a couple times and yelp. No response. And I can still hear but it's, like I said, it's so faint I could barely hear where it was at. And so I was sitting here, and I hear right up between, well, I sense something right up between those two trees right there, and I look, and there's a longbeard, and I'm like, oh shit, and he definitely sees me as I move my head. He goes behind this tree right here, and that's when I make my move, and he steps out between that little tree and that tree there, right in there. Oh man, I cannot believe that worked. Yeah, buddy. West Virginia. What is so cool about this place? Alright, so I wanted to say this earlier, and I'm going to do it now. So, my dad, as you guys might have heard me on several podcasts and all. Hold on, let me get this bird in this frame here, because he is the star. I'm just a talk show host. Alright, so what was so cool about this place and why I wanted to come here was my dad, as some of you might have heard, or you might know my dad got me into turkey hunting when I was real young, and got me into traveling to turkey hunt too. You know, I always used to go to South Carolina, sometimes Georgia, West Virginia, Maryland, Virginia, Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Vermont. You would just travel up and down the East Coast as the seasons came in. Well, in West Virginia, he had found a bird, and he nicknamed him Damien. And we don't normally name our birds, but he had named this bird. And he hunted him for 5 years on public land, which some of you guys might think, oh, that's not really possible. Well, as good as my dad is in the turkey woods, if he said it was the same bird, I 100% believe that it was the same bird. Regardless of that, he hunted this bird for a long time. Had the same mannerisms, the same characteristics. I don't remember all the details. Last time we really talked about Damien, I was a young kid. Because he shot Damien 15 years ago, roughly. 12 to 15 years. Again, not my story, I'm retelling it. Some of my details are a little fuzzy, but anyway. Where my father sent me the pin of where he killed. It's a couple 100 yards that way. So I wanted to come here to West Virginia. Oh, and when he killed Damien, he said that he felt like he had shot one of his friends because he'd been after this bird for so long. And he hasn't hunted West Virginia since. So my first bird here in West Virginia, I really wanted it to be on this property. And not only was it, it's a couple 100 yards from where my dad shot his about 15 years ago. That is cool, man. May it not have been your typical hunt. Didn't hear him gobble. I mean, this might have been the bird I heard gobble this morning. I don't know. Probably was. Didn't hear him gobble, but sometimes you just got to take the cards that are dealt to you and make the best of that hand. And look, now the sun's starting to come out. Snow this morning, now it's sunny. Oh man. Number 44. Number 44 is West Virginia. Yeah. No. What a pretty freaking turkey.